I'm back. Well, this feels very strange to be back on YouTube because I've had such a long break from it. It's literally been 1 year, and the only reason that I can explain as to why I've had such a long gap is down to the fact that I've just been so chuffing lazy. Like, literally, there is no excuse other than that. I've got so many different ideas now for my YouTube channel, so I'm just going to pull my finger out and I'm just going to crack on. I literally feel so rusty because it's just taken me about 10 takes, yeah, to get that one shot. Anyway, before I begin, make sure that you've hit the subscribe button, and I promise there will be one video a week, every Wednesday. I don't know what time, be, you know, whenever I want to, basically. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So today's video is going to be a Q&A with me, and I asked some of my followers across my social media channels to ask me any questions that they want to get to know me on a better level. So without further ado, let's begin. So question 1, literally I've not rehearsed this at all, so I'm literally reading it as we go along, so my answers are going to be very honest. Okay, so anyway, right, question 1, do you like coloured hearing aids and coloured ear molds? So for me personally, I wear plain ear molds and hearing aids, and it's not because I'm like ashamed or anything like that. It just suits my style better. But when I was growing up, I had blue glitter ear molds, I had red glitter hearing aids. So I've always, you know, like growing up and stuff, I experimented and just like blue and red basically. But now I've just gone for plain because I'm quite boring. Okay, so I just played that last clip back, and wow, I sound very northern. It's glitter, not glitter. Question 2, so can you sign? My mum's recently decided that she never wants to wear hearing aids again, and I know that's very like, but I'll explain that in like a different video, and it's Deaf Awareness Week next week actually. So I'm going to do like a YouTube special sort of thing around that. Back to the question, can I sign? I can sign the basics, so the alphabet, the numbers, and yeah, that's actually it at the minute. But I'm learning, and you know, because my mum's not wearing hearing aids anymore, she's teaching me. And I think because she's not wearing them, it's sort of forcing me to learn another language, and it's actually quite exciting, and it's, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Question 3, when did you come out as gay? So I never really had that big whole coming out of the closet sort of thing, because I think people always sort of knew that I was anyway. So when I did like officially come out, I was about 15, 16, or maybe even 14, I don't know. 14 to 16, around then. I think people were just like, alright. So I've been quite lucky in that sense. So yeah, I came out 14 to 16. Question 4, what is your favourite fragrance? Wow, it changes on my mood, it changes on the season, it changes daily, hourly, weekly. I've got a lot of fragrances and I love fragrances, and it just makes me feel sexy, depending on which one it is. At the moment, my favourite one is this one. Bibliotheque by Byredo. It's just absolutely stunning, and this is actually my second bottle of it now, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. It's just, I don't know, there's just something stunning about it, and if you've smelt it before, then hopefully you'll know what I'm on about. Question 5, how do you deal with such a busy schedule in Leeds and your trips to London? So I've actually not been to London now since January, and it's not like I don't get invited to anything down in London, or there's no reason, because my best mate's just moved down to London now, so I've got more reason to go to London. When I used to go regularly, you know, it used to be like once or twice a month, it just sort of slid in because I do have a part-time job, and I just worked it around that. But now my focus at the minute is on Leeds, because I just think it's where I live. There's so much going on now, and I just think that not everything has to always be down in London. So yeah, that's how I fit it in basically. Question 6, the best and worst thing about blogging. So the best thing is, for me, the opportunities that come my way, and I feel like if I blog about something or I'm focused on one area, I put it out there and then it opens up so many different doors that I wouldn't even think of happening. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably the best thing, and obviously, you know, interacting and meeting loads of new people. And my confidence, when I first started blogging, non-existent pretty much, but now I'm quite happy to go to these events down in London, Leeds, Manchester, wherever, like across England basically, and I can just go up to people now. So I think that's another huge positive that blogging's given me, because I never had that before. So the worst thing about blogging for me is probably I can go through stages where I can actually blog every single shuffling night and then I can just stop. And usually that happens if I sort of meet someone, or I can just lose it. Not lose it, but lose that blogging mojo. But I've got it back now, especially with YouTube. So I think I just need to find a balance where I can still enjoy my life, social life, you know, going out and stuff like that. But then I need to sort of take this to another level because, well, I just do. Question 7. What's the best piece of advice you've been given, and what would you say to your 18-year-old self? My sister is actually pretty decent with advice, and she never watched my YouTube and she never would watch this. But I just feel like if I need someone to talk to, she's probably the best person for me to go to, because she's just so straight to the point. But the best piece of advice I've been given is probably from her, and she said to me, if you were to stop blogging and you were to stop your YouTube or whatever, who will care? And I know that sounds harsh, but it really spurred me on, and it really made me sort of think, well, do you know what? You're right. And if I could go back to my 18-year-old self, I would probably tell myself to stop blowing my money as if it's going out of fashion. Like when I look back on some of the purchases that I made, it literally makes me chuffing die. But, you know, I've learnt my lesson now and I'm growing up, so yeah. Question 8. How did you find yourself in the beauty world? What's your story? So I got into beauty because my friend said that she was doing it, and I was sort of really into grooming, like my fragrances and moisturisers and skincare, and, you know, wanting to look the best that I could. And I think I was around 21 or 22 when I joined beauty at college. It was alright, but I started to lose the sort of spark towards the end of it. But it was only after I left Manchester, because I tried living there and it massively went wrong. But anyway, when I came back home from Manchester, my best mate said to me, well, why don't you start a blog? And he was only sort of using my beauty skills and my tips and stuff like that. And I started talking about male grooming. That's why I've got, like, you know, hopefully a wide knowledge in terms of skincare and things like that, because I am sort of trained in that, so I do know what I'm sort of talking about. Wow, that sounds really conceited, but yeah. Question 9. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So in 5 years' time, I'm going to be 30. So in 5 years' time, I would like to see myself in a flat, in a city centre, hopefully Leeds, and in a good job. Hopefully take my blogging full time, see what happens from my YouTube channel, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, this video in 5 years' time, that sort of thing. Maybe like on the path to having a kid. But because I'm gay, I know that it's going to be like slightly difficult for me, but I would like a kid in 5 years' time maybe. Who knows, we'll see. So this is my last question, and this is question 10. So what are your biggest challenges in life and how do you overcome them? So the biggest challenge I probably have is being gay and deaf, mixed together sort of thing. And I've never had, like, you know, abuse or anything like that from it, but I think it's something that I will always come up against in future. And it's only recently I had something being said about me, like my sexuality, but, you know, whatever, it's on them, not me. And we're in 2018, I think it says something more about them than it does about me. So yeah. And how I overcome them, probably, just being with my mates and just chilling and just taking my mind off it and just keeping busy, which I know contradicts me just saying that, just chill. But yeah, keeping busy is a good way of taking your mind off things, for me anyway. I would just like to thank everyone that submitted their questions. I really appreciate it. And if I didn't have time to answer one of your questions, because I didn't want to throw them all into one video, because I know that it would have taken me like half an hour and no one's got that sort of attention span. But I will try and do another Q&A in like a few months' time or whatever. But yeah, thank you for your questions. And I hope that you've liked how I've answered them and that you think you know me a little bit better now. So yeah. So that is the end of my YouTube video, and I actually feel slightly relieved now because I've hammed it up for such a long time and I've been like, oh my god, I'm getting back on YouTube, and then I never did, and obviously now I'm back on it and I just feel like I can breathe. But it's been fun. Thank you for watching, and if you've liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And like I said earlier, you know, I will post once a week, and it'll be every Wednesday. So see you next week.